Hello, survivors, and welcome to Qigong with Kevin. We had an exciting day today. We're going to talk about how to get ready for Qigong. Great shout out to Aortic Hope TV for all they do. Thanks to Karen and Josh and everybody else associated with Aortic Hope. They do so much for us survivors. So, the first part of this little Qigong talk today is going to be directed at aortic dissection survivors. Then anybody else, caregivers or whomever, can benefit from the Qigong talk afterwards. But I just got back from Mayo Clinic, and that's what I want to talk to you survivors about. I had my annual barrage of tests, the whole gamut, the CT scan, the echocardiogram, which, by the way, if I had to pick one test that I really don't care for, it's the echocardiogram because you're laying on your side and they're shoving that ultrasound monitor thingy into your ribs and your stomach and everywhere else for like 45 minutes. Now, granted, it's a really thorough test and tells the doctor a whole lot, but it's kind of uncomfortable. So I had my CT, my echo, my ECG, and the blood work. I got to talk to the vascular surgeon and we reviewed the CT, and then I got to talk to the cardiologist about my lifestyle, my terrain, as I call it, everyday terrain about living as a survivor with aortic dissection. And bottom line is come back next year. Everything looks stable, except I do have a little bit of a pseudoaneurysm on my right bicep. That's where the PICC line was installed way back after my second open heart surgery when I had endocarditis and they were feeding antibiotics and antifungals into my bloodstream through the PICC line. So where the needle went into the artery was a little bit swollen, but nothing that they were concerned about. So I'm glad that is over for another year. And I know each of you know exactly what I'm talking about, the relief that you feel after um, having that barrage of tests and after talking to your cardiothoracic surgeon or your cardiologist. And they say, come back in another year, you look okay for right now. So I wanted to share a couple of things, though, that the cardiologist really emphasized, and that is diet, good diet, low sodium. Of course, we know that. Exercise, gentle exercise, no heavy lifting, but just good, gentle exercise. Yay, Qigong. And she told me that she was very glad to see me wearing compression leggings or compression socks. Now, I like leggings. I really prefer compression leggings over socks because they're so much easier to put on. And my favorite pair is Mud Gear. You can get Mud Gear off the internet, but there's many other good compression leggings. But the cardiologist said it's very important to, during the day, if you're sitting down or going for a long walk, to have those compression socks or compression leggings on. They really do benefit your aorta. So that, and she again questioned me about going to the dentist and getting my teeth cleaned. And of course, I've had my teeth cleaned in January, and I have another appointment set up for June. So I'm going to be faithful with getting my teeth cleaned because the teeth are so close to our arch and our heart. And so any kind of infection could potentially encourage endocarditis, which we don't want. That said, Mayo Clinic was a lot of fun. I love the campus. I love the medical staff there. It's world class. And one of the things that I really do like so much about Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville is they push out test results so fast. So if I have blood work at 6 a.m. in the morning, which I did, then by 6:20, I usually have my complete scan of results on my patient portal. And if I have a CT scan at 8 o'clock, which I think I did, then I'll have the results back from the radiologist. The radiologist report usually within a half hour, 45 minutes. I'm not going to push them too hard, but a half hour. So it's great to have the information from the CT scan on the patient portal, being able to read it before you go talk to your vascular surgeon and cardiologist. So if you have any questions, you'll be ready to ask those questions. So all in all, I'm so grateful that the annual visit is over. Now, I want to talk today, Qigong wise, about getting ready to do Qigong. So just like getting ready to do anything during the day, it takes a little bit of preparation. Some people may think yoga or qigong or tai chi, we're just going to jump right in and do it, but it's so good to go ahead and prepare. Now, what I really do like is that learning the basic steps of preparing for a qigong flow can really help just during the day for any event, getting ready to go to work, getting ready to go to school, to take a test, to do any kind of activity. Just a short few minutes of preparation can really make the difference in trying to force a project to completion or having a project flow very smoothly to completion. That's what I want to talk about today. And again, these 5 steps, we've talked about them before. You can do them seated or standing. You can do them before Qigong or before cooking dinner, before going out to walk around the block or check the mail or mow the yard. But I've learned them from my Yochi Qigong teacher, Marissa. And I'm really grateful for having worked with Marissa at Yochi Qigong. Qigong has made just a huge difference in the quality of my life. I call it Yang Sheng. The Yang Sheng lifestyle in Chinese means a life of vitality. And through Qigong, even though I have an aortic dissection, just like most of you survivors do, or an aneurysm, through Yang Sheng, a life of vitality in Qigong, my life has improved so much. I have so much more um, so much less fatigue and so much more vitality. I feel like I'm a lot healthier. I actually feel so much better than I did before my dissection. Now, it did take a couple of years to move from not being able to walk and talk practically to doing Qigong. However, baby steps every day, you can make progress. So the 5 steps that we're going to talk about, I want you to consider using these as a tool in your toolbox, daily life toolbox, life hack toolbox to prepare you for any kind of activity. So the first thing we're going to do when we get ready to do Qigong is we're going to relax. And as Marissa says, open our joints. So even if you're sitting down, you can start with your toes, wiggle your ankles, wiggle your knees, your hips, your back and your spine, unclog any stagnation in your spine, because the spine is the super highway of chi flowing. Let the chi flow. So relaxing and opening our joints, make sure there's no railroad crossing preventing our energy and our chi flow through our body. So if we relax and open up our joints, then the chi and the interstitial fluid that bathes our cells and detoxifies our cells so we can move and perform on an optimum basis. All that chi, interstitial fluid, and blood lymph can flow through our body. So we want to always remember step number 1 is relaxing and opening our joints. I have my cup of coffee. I love coffee in the afternoon. 1 cup. I might have 1 cup or a half a cup in the morning, but afternoon, it's a hard habit for me to break, even though my nephrologist would say, Kevin. So step number 1 is relax, open the joints. Step number 2 is we're going to connect to the heavens and connect to the earth. We want a good flow through our body, be it if we're sitting or if we're standing. And the way we do that is Byway point is due 20, right at the apex of our head. And to find byway, you can touch the tip of your ears, run your fingers up, and where your fingers meet, that is byway, right in the center line of the scalp. And byway is the heavenmost point on our body. So we want to envision a string hanging from byway up to the cosmos, up to the heavens, and heavenly chi, heavenly energy is flowing down through byway into our body. Then on the opposite end, our pelvic floor and our feet, kidney one is right here on our feet. And it's always good to keep the bottom of the feet grounded, let that energy flow. So we can imagine an open channel from byway on the top of our head and heavenly chi flowing down through our body. If we're standing, exiting out our pelvic floor, if we're sitting, exiting out through kidney one on the soles of our feet. That's step two. So step one is relax, open our joints. And if you're sitting here listening to this right now, you might just want to wiggle everything and open up those gates. Open up the railroad crossing so the chi, interstitial fluid, the blood, and the lymph can flow through your body. That's step number one, relax, open the joints. Step number two is find your structure, make a connection between the cosmos, the heavens, and earth. Step number three is, we've done this one so many times, is sink your breath into your belly. What a great tool to start any project, to prepare for any project, is to sink your breath into your belly. And by doing so, on the inhale, when our belly expands, our diaphragm drops, opening up so much more space in our lungs to fill our lungs with fresh air and send that fresh oxygen out to all parts of our body. So step number one, relax, open the joints, let the chi highway flow as fast as it wants to. Step number two, make that connection between heaven and earth, feel grounded, but feel in touch with the cosmos. And step number three, sink your breath into your belly. Breathe slowly on the inhale, let your belly expand. On the exhale, let your belly contract. Right now, survivors, take a deep breath. Inhale, let your belly expand. Exhale, let your belly contract. You can even push your sides, your lower sides out on the inhale. As your belly expands, let your sides open up and let your back, your kidney area open up so you have this big expansion in your lower dantian, your lower abdomen area. As all that opens up, your diaphragm drops even lower, you get more fresh oxygen into your body, and your brain and your muscles are just going to scream out with joy. So relax, open our joints, connect to source, heaven and earth, sink our breath into our lower dantian. Step number four is we're going to move with intent rather than force. Have you ever tried to jam a key into a lock? It won't go in. I did that just recently at a storage unit. It took forever to get that key in, but can be very frustrating. And the faster you try to push that key in, and the harder and the less focus you're just trying to cram it in, that it just doesn't work. So we want to, on our project, whatever we are doing, Qigong or any of the other projects we discussed, we want to move with intent and not force. So we're going to tell ourselves we're moving with intent. We are focusing on the moment, using our breath, focusing on what we are doing. And by doing this, we will succeed so much faster, quicker, smoother, and more efficiently than trying to force an action. Step number one, relax, open our joints. Step number two, connect to source. Step number three, sync our breath. Step number four, move with intent rather than force. Know what we are going to do. Think about, make that connection, that mental connection. No more pump head. issues, make that connection, focus, move with intent rather than force. And step number 5 is put a smile on your face. Marissa with Yochi says something like start your internal love engine, smile. Um, so put a smile on your face. You can't go wrong with smiling for any project, a test, going to work, mowing the yard, anything. A smile is just releases all the feel good chemicals in our body and makes our Qigong flow so much more smoother. So now the beauty of this, even though there are 5 steps, I found we don't have to go through all 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in sequence. We can do all 5 at the same time. If we're familiar with all those steps, just go ahead, relax, open your joints, make that connection, sync your breath, put a smile on your face, and know that you're going to move with intent rather than force all at one time. When you practice that and you can do all 5 consecutively or concurrently, then you're going to have a very powerful tool for helping you with your project or with your Qigong flow. So, again, the 5 steps: relax, open your joint, make your connection to source, sync your breath, move with intent rather than force, and keep a smile on your face. Survivors, those 5 keys to making a project successful can really pay big dividends in your daily life. And I would encourage you to practice those. Go back and review this video, understand what you're going to do before you're going to do it, and then practice all those 5 steps. So let's just do a couple of really quick Qigong flows, and we'll call it a day today. I'm tired from being on the road from Jacksonville, but if you're sitting in a chair, which a lot of us survivors sit a lot, just make sure your feet are firmly planted on the ground, about shoulder width apart. And we are going to have the sun flow out over the pond. Love this flow, gentle flow. Palms facing the pond downwards, the earth, up to the heavens. Great, simple, slow, meditative flow, survivors. Great, simple flow. And reverse. Come back to center. On the inhale, arms go up. Exhale, arms come down back to center. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, arms go down. Come back to center, turn your palms facing the sky and the heavens, and we're going to part the clouds. Bring your palms together, Lao Gong versus Lao Gong, facing Lao Gong. Hands open the clouds. If you have any kind of doubt or cloudy situation in your life, this meditative flow is a great way to open the unknown so the unknown can become the unseen. Meditate on the flow of your hands. By doing so, you push out any external thoughts and you can focus and concentrate on the challenge, the issue at hand. Parting the clouds. I love this flow. If I'm in doubt about a choice or situation or even what I'm going to do during the morning, parting the clouds is just a great meditative flow to run through. Come back to center. And again, I want to mention some of these Qigong flows may seem very simple. However, it's so very important to move those arms. As a survivor, having gone through surgery and sitting in a recliner like many of us have done or do still, because we don't have the energy, we haven't made that 15-year transition as I have. We still are maybe a year off of surgery. We're sitting in that chair trying to regain our strength and taking each advance step by step, every day, breath by breath. It's so important not to let our arms just hang, but to move our arms. And these simple Qigong flows lift the arms and the shoulders. We have 4 rotator cuff muscles under 3 deltoids. We've talked about this before. And they can become full of stagnation so very quickly if we don't move them. So any kind of arm, shoulder, gentle arm, shoulder movement is so very important to keep the chi in the blood and the lymph flowing through our anterior, middle, posterior deltoid. Those muscles are what holds up our arm, connects our arm to our shoulder. And if those muscles are not used, then we can start impinging bone upon bone and develop a lot of pain. So move your arms. I hope this helps today, survivors. Remember the 5 steps: relax, open the joints, connect to source, sink your breath into your belly, move with intent rather than force, and always keep a smile on your face. Might want to jot those down. And we will see you next Sunday again. A big shout out to Aortic Hope for all they do. And as always, survivors, may you be blessed and filled with chi.